All right. Let's see here. Take a sip of water. Okay, so today's going to be an interesting day. Let me take a look at the board. So I got a bunch of things done the last time I streamed, and also I think after I streamed as well. So I've actually gotten to the point where a lot of I had to mount it to the camera, the debug view, so that I could see the live camera feed and captured images and other debug information. But now I have it set up where dynamically I'm adding that on. It's its own scene. So, for instance, where is it? Where's the debug stuff? The debug HUD. Here we go. So I made it its own scene. And this is the old button that I had for hitting the button to trigger the camera. In debug mode, I still want that because when the app is live, it's just going to run all the time. It'll be constantly OCRing new text, and it'll detect it on its own. But when I'm debugging, I want to be able to set up a book, hit the button, and have it kind of do it in a more controlled manner. And then having multiple screens, displaying the text, but all this anchored to the view. And this is going to help me debug things a lot because I'll be able, instead of putting the headset on and off all the time while I'm testing, I should now be able to set up the headset on my desk and then set up a book in front of the camera. And then the only thing I'd have to do is put my hand in front of the headset and bump this little red square above, which I've positioned above the head of the user, to trigger an OCR event. So this should help me do a lot of quick testing. And then the other things I've done here, actually if I go to the script for the debug HUD, so I've also done some things where I'm now creating folders, writing files to folders, and then I'm able to pull those files off of the headset. So now I'm able to capture still images, do OCR, get the raw OCR results, and I'll write them off to a file system that I can then process on my computer regularly. And so I think that's where we're going to focus today. Now that we've got all this testing harness in place, I'm going to focus on improving OCR performance. Because right now where we're at with the app is OCR is pretty terrible, I think. I believe it is, and I need to confirm that today. And the reason OCR is terrible is because the camera images we're getting off the headset are less than ideal. Now, that might be recoverable. I might be able to do some pre-processing of those images and do some other things to get the quality back up to where it was before. Hopefully my current goal is just to get quality above 90%. And if I'm able to do that, then I know, okay, I can make other future improvements to make quality even better, but now I can then pivot onto other things. If I can't do that, then that kind of raises the question, do I need to wait for the Quest 4 to come out and hope that it has a better camera? Do I need to switch to Apple's headset or the new Android XR headset that's coming out, assuming they've got better cameras, which I believe they do for Passthrough? I'd rather not do that. I would prefer, if I can, to get this to work on the Quest 3. Or, I guess get this app working on, let's call it lower end VR headsets. Obviously, it's not going to run on the Quest 2. I guess Meta could open it up. And the cameras are black and white, and the cameras are pretty bad on the Quest 2, so it probably couldn't ever run there, even if they opened up the Passthrough API. But it would be nice, right? It would be nice if this could run. Heck, if it were up to me, I mean, I know Google Cardboard isn't as much of a thing anymore. But it would be nice if this could run on the Google Cardboard. Which was one of the thoughts I had, is could I make a very lower quality version of this app and put it out on Android Store, Google Play, and make it so that it could run on Google Cardboard. I may still try to do that eventually, but for now, I'm operating with the assumption that the Quest 3 is the platform that this is going to run on. And today, with working, hopefully I figure this out today. Hopefully today I will know whether or not that's still true. Whether or not we can still do OCR now that I've actually got images coming off of the headset camera. Are those images good enough? So that's going to be the focus today. Still, yeah, I got to work on the devlog. I'll probably put out a devlog next week, which summarizes some of like last week's work as well as the current week. So OCR accuracy above 90%. I think that's where I'm going to be working today. Let me drag this out. OCR processing under 10 seconds. You know, I actually realized that, I mean, if you feed it an image that doesn't have text in it, it does finish in like a second or two. Like, it's very fast. And I definitely think I can do this. That's not going to be the concern today. The concern is let's get the accuracy back up and not care how long it takes. I don't care if it takes 2 minutes to run. If the accuracy is above 90%, I can work with it, right? And then we can then the new priority would be, okay, well, now let's get the speed under. What else do we have here? Switch to hands instead of controller. Okay, I would like to get that done. I don't think I want to make that today's priority. So I think today I'll still be stuck with syncing the controller, which is a little annoying. We'll see. If it's too annoying, I might do that today. Strategy for prioritizing environment changes. Yeah, okay, that'll be the next thing. So for today, it's OCR, it's testing, it's test harness, which means I'll be spending a little bit of time in VR today, but really we're going to get data off of it. And then, well, let's update it. So, Quest 3 OCR quality improvements. That's our goal today. Now, let's see here. Okay, so today's experiments are going to be get several book images off of headset. Let's see. Debug info anchored to user view. Yep, that got done. Trigger button without headset on. Yes, that's also done. Download pass-through images. Write metrics to file per image. Yep, all that got done. All right, so now we just need to get a bunch of test data because right now I've got nothing in the folder. So let's get those off. And then run Tesseract locally. I already have a local set up for it. It's just been a while since I used it, so let's resurrect that. And then from there, crop images in multiple ways. Grayscale and or black white. Can we do auto skew, dewarp? So I don't know if we'll get to these later ones, but the goal would be, actually I think pretty quickly we should be able to get several images off the headset. That shouldn't take long. And then running Tesseract locally will take 5 minutes probably. I would like to time it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try Pi Tesseract instead of regular Tesseract. Get my setup for that going, but I'm fine with it. You know, I'm going to say I'm not going to time it. I would like, yeah, again, today's priority is about quality. It's not about speed. Once I've got a bunch of knobs set up where we have the ability to like grayscale the image and then like auto crop it or auto skew it or like do like auto skew, deskew. Let's just call it deskew, dewarp. If we're able to do some of those things and I'm able to turn those kind of knobs, then I can then switch back to, okay, can we get it under 10 seconds? What happens if we skip skewing or dewarping? Does accuracy go down but speed go up? Whatever. That's not for today. Cool. And then Python -m run. Drag that over. And that run command is so that the little lower let's call it a HUD display down here in the corner. That run command causes it to rotate images, and it'll display some of that information that I just put there. Okay, let me take a sip of water. Apparently Twitch has a new manager here. I don't know what this does. Interesting. Huh, okay. Twitch has this new stream manager. That's fine. All right. So, how do I got to do this? Where is my... Do I have a folder? I think the folder I have over here. By the way, it does seem like this channel is, or at least my YouTube channel, is kind of hockey sticking lately. And by hockey sticking, I mean like I went from a dozen views to like 30 to then like 50 to now over 100 on videos. Especially the live streams, which is a little surprising to me. I would have thought that people wouldn't really watch the live streams after the fact, that maybe live streams would be good for drawing people to like my more crafted videos, but apparently the live streams are popular. So if you're watching this, thank you. I guess, I don't know, like, subscribe or whatever you're supposed to say. Okay, so here's the folder where files are going to go to. And where's my commands? Is that here? Yeah, so it's the pull command that I created here. So ADB command to get things off of the local file storage and then move them to reading room. All right, then let me get the headset set up. And I guess I might as well do the proper casting. Update required. Fine. It's going to take me a moment anyway to get the headset. And I think... How do I want to do this? Got some stuff here that I can move out of the way. Got some stickers from PyCon that I need to do something with, maybe put them on my laptop. My desk is slightly a mess right now. Got to get that nice, svelte, beautiful desk set up that everybody shows when they actually do show their desk, which I might do that at some point. Do I have a little box that I can prop this up on? Yeah, that'll work. There. Perfect. How you doing, Meta? Are you back up? Good. All right, there's devices. And let's cast. Perfect. We'll drag that out of the way, and then I gotta get a book set up. Allow USB debugging. Hold on. Let's finish getting this all set up. Get the head strap out of the way. Your device is not secure in developer mode. Yeah, fine. It's probably, okay, this is probably maybe the new software update. Let's turn off Passthrough, and then, lost the icon. That's fine. I'll do my normal thing for the moment and just put the headset in front of me. But I'll probably prop it back up on that box, and hopefully then I don't have to touch it ever again. I can just let it sit there. Where is my... Okay, and then... Let's try that. Well, let's just deploy to it for starters. And then how do I prop up a book? You know what? Hold on one second. I think I got just the thing. Although now indeed my desk is getting quite cluttered. I've got this tiny little cute little easel thing. And I guess I could prop a book up on it. Here, let me get the start of a chapter. Maybe not. Yeah, let's just grab a random page. If I put that there like that, can I maybe pin it? Oops, that wants to fall over. I guess I need to like clamp it maybe somehow. If I open the book to the middle of the page. I don't want to like break the spine of this book during this testing. Many books were sacrificed in the making of this app. Let's see. Okay, well, it's installing on the device. Ooh, that's a little uncomfortable. Let me just pop over here and get... Oh, I do need to do my regular dance permissions and things. Where are my permissions? I don't have to like go copy paste them again. Here we go. Permissions granted, and then yeah, this is the annoying thing about still using controllers, is I have to do that. There we go. And see, again, the cool thing about the Dev HUD is now, no matter where I point the camera or the headset, I get the view right in front. So if I, this is gonna like block my view of things. Let's get this figured out. What if I drop it down lower? Go low with it. And then we tighten that. That actually looks pretty good. I may just have to prop up the headset a little bit more. And then, well, I guess maybe back the headset up. And then, yeah, maybe prop it up. Here, I'll use this book, which has a bunch of images in it that I am not going to try to OCR right now. Let's just assume there are no pictures. Okay, I may need to prop it up higher than that. Let me move my cup of water so I don't spill that everywhere. let's see. I need another board game. Does it have cameras? It does have well, it has side cameras. I wonder if it actually can use those. Probably not. It probably doesn't use those as part of OCR. But see now. Yeah, see, I don't want it to pick up the screen at all. What if I turn it? Pull this ahead. All right, that's pretty good. I would like it to be lower. If only I had just a bunch of thin books around here. I could just stack them up little by little. Let's do that. That's pretty good. One higher. All right, and then I think that'll work as long as I can pin it back now. Which, what's the best way to do that? All right, let me go get some clips. Hold on one moment. All right, got a bunch of different clips here. Let's see which one of these is gonna work for this. So that works for like a page, but I need something that's gonna like hold it flat or hold it back rather. Ooh, there's an idea. Okay. So I'll put one on either side. Ooh, I think this is gonna work real good. Maybe too good. It's too strong. But I can work with it, I think, hopefully. It's gonna be a lot of skew though. Let's get the... Oops, okay, I accidentally triggered it. That's funny. And it's getting OCR results. I can see that in the lower corner there on the screen from the background. I mean, it worked. Let's see what it comes back with. Yeah, this is why I want to get rid of the controller inputs, because the controllers just get in the way. Well, it must be doing work because it's taking forever. Huh, there we go. I mean, it worked. Let me go pull the images off and just take a look. So if we do our pull and our delete, so that both pulls the files and deletes them. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I mean, not bad. These rubber bands are a bit too... This rubber band's too strong. Maybe I can just weaken it slightly. I think I need like a flat board to put it on. Because unfortunately this is not flat. Do I have a very thin, firm, fat thing? That actually would make life easier too. Looking around the room, a stiff piece of cardboard or something. Hold on one second. That's not going to work. Come on, what else do I got? Okay, I may have found something that might work. Let's see if this... Okay, what if we got rid of the rubber band? And then... maybe this might work. Hold on. One more moment. Let's try that. Okay, so if we, well, let's kill this image and then let's go back over. How's that looking? It's good, other than the fact that the camera needs to be higher now. And again, right now I'm just setting up like the absolute perfect scenario. Because if quality can't be good when the scenario is perfect, then it can't be good when the scenario isn't. Ooh, so close. Slightly higher, maybe? Let's do slightly higher. Got a few more books I can work with. Let's remove one. Back it up a little bit. Feels like it needs to be higher, and then further back. Okay. That might be the best I can do. Let me back things up a little bit more. This is the part where I break the headset and then this project goes on hold because I'm not going to buy another one. Okay. Good enough. Okay, now hopefully I can just do then. Let's get the controller in. There we go. I could see the trigger happened. So now it's going to pull that off. And I can already tell we're going to have a problem, a little bit of a problem with skew, but that's okay. Let's just start with one image and see what we can get working. So still getting the results. And when that finishes, I am a little bit curious, how long is this going to take? Okay, it finished. And what did it say? So it did break it up into 2 pages. That's at least good. So 1041. Not bad, actually. It only took like 35 seconds, which, you know, not great, but better than over a minute. Okay, let's pull it off. Yeah, see, this is blocking my view. I need a bigger desk. And then if we go up a couple directories, there we go. So this is what the MetaQuest pass-through camera sees in the book. Man, that just feels pretty terrible. Okay, before I dive into OCRing, let me first confirm I can't get a sharper image. It does seem a little odd to me. I mean, I guess a little odd to me that I can't get a better image, although I guess we're talking about an image pulled from video feed. And I've already looked into, like, can't you just get still images? And that doesn't seem to be currently something you can do. Where do we have this? So that's the debug HUD. Well, yeah, so we get an image. What is this? It's not. Did we do this on main? Let me see here. So that's start and stop camera. Those functions be as they are. Update book from camera. That's fine. Oh, really? Well, this is the HUD. Okay, that's fine. So camera choice is 3, so that should be the biggest one. So we should be getting the largest image. And then what did I look up? Well, okay, so we're supposedly getting the largest image. I could go down the rabbit hole of confirming that somehow, but let's assume this is the best picture we can get. I mean, I guess we already know it's true, because if I look at the info for this, so this one's a JPEG, 1280 by 960 is the dimensions. 1280, 960. Yep. Um, 96 DPI. And we also have a PNG version here too. Now, Hawker is going to be a little annoying because it's going to be let's see here. Fine, let's go with Notepad++. No, let's not update. Leave me alone. Okay. And the Hawker results are going to be in this ugly format. I wonder. Well, I do know already one issue that I can resolve, which is that it's not passing. Let's save that. If I go to game state, yeah, if I go to game state and we do process image. It's not OCR manager, right? I thought I'd moved this. Where did I move this to? So OCR new on image capture. So we got this image. Okay, yeah. So here, save PNG to buffer. I believe this is on the C++ side. It's actually compressing it, and I think the compression is not as good. Like it is doing it worse. One little thing I'll test though is what if I go to an AI and I'll say attached is an XML result of Hawker data for a picture of a book. Can you recreate the 2 pages of the book with proper line formatting given the data provided? And then I'll attach it as a file, and let's see. Darn. Okay, so I'm on free tier, and I guess this file is just too big, right? I guess that makes sense. It's 500 lines. Darn. I'm sure I could do it. That'd be funny. Can I do? Wait, I would think Sonnet 3.7 would be worse than 4. Is that not true? Huh. Fine, fair enough. All right, never mind. That would have saved me a little bit of time to have something that can convert this back to text. I mean, I am doing it on my own. I already have a version of this, but as you can see, like, it's going to be kind of hard for me to read. Although I suppose I could. Here, let's mess with it. So here under the camera, I'm attaching this debug pane. If I go to 3D right here. Oh, I can't see it. It doesn't show up here. I was hoping I could, like, if I hide that, it hides it. can I move it? Okay, let me rapidly do this real quick. Let's see here. There we are. Perfect. Temporary solution to a permanent problem. So, and then we have our book. I might as well look at it over here. Let's drag that there. That's fine. So on the left, it got the word boundary and 126. It didn't get the title. Or ik. Oh. Huh. The goal. Yeah, okay. So it struggled there on the left. And that's because of how the book is folded. It's got a weird angle to it. And then on the right, we have company. So got that word company. Who would... Yeah, and then struggles from there. All right. I mean, I didn't need to look at this to know how terrible it was, but it helps to see it. Now, I had done some research, sadly, on my phone about some techniques I wanted to try. Let's see here. Let me kill this. And I'm not going to sit here and go through Haka results. Not right now. I do want to like use this B-box info to like, because this B-box info represents, as you can see, like this is a visualization of Hawker behind here. So the B-box info determines like this word, where is its location in the image. And so each of these, like well, the yellow is a row and the green is a word. And so for a given word, it has its B-box info, but also the lines themselves, the yellow, that is another B-box for like that whole row. And so I should be able to then, like if you wanted to like recreate exactly this text in VR, you could in theory just use the B-box info. And I guess the only issue is like the words wouldn't be skewed. Like you can see like these words, this word here, joyful, right here it's following the page because the page is bent. And actually you can see like it messed up this entire region here because the page has, and this is what I was referring to before. Well, I mean, you can probably see it down here in the lower corner here, the to-dos for today. So we've got deskew and dewarp. This is page warping. And so the word joyful here has been warped. It's kind of got a bit of a curve to it. Obviously, you're not going to recreate that, nor would we want to. But using this B-box info, we could have straight words that then maybe the words themselves do kind of have this curve to them because of where they're positioned on the page. Could look interesting. I mean, it might look cool to have it. And then that might at least then make this look better, because you can see like 126, it's up here in the left-hand corner where it's supposed to be, but that's kind of by accident because it's just displaying each row that it detected. It's displaying these as separate rows. So I do have it breaking it up by row, and I'm able to detect when page 2 begins and put those on their own place. But you know, the word keep here, or the word company, this word company is not at the right position on the page as it should be. But that's a problem for another day. I'm not going to waste my time with Hawker results. It is nice, though, that I have them here off of the headset, because then what I can probably do is actually actually convert the actual text for the page and do it by hand, right? Like sit there and fix the text and make it all correct. And then I could then run a bunch of OCR experiments where I check the accuracy, right? Take the XML file and iterate through it and confirm that, like, hey, the word goal it got correctly, but egg is not supposed to be egg, it's supposed to be big, right? It lost the B. And then I can at least score the results. So then when I start turning these knobs to improve performance, I can actually measurably know that things are getting better. And then I can probably put automated tests in place to make sure that any change I make in the future doesn't break things. Or if, let's say, Meta comes out with a new firmware update for the headset, and all of a sudden camera quality goes down, I could actually see that in the results. Or lighting in the room, or how far away the book is from the camera. Like all these things I could measure and see, you know, what's going to mess with quality. Oh, I can de-skew or de-warp the image a little bit, but if you turn the book more than 10 degrees to a side, all of a sudden I'm not able to de-warp that and the quality goes down. So being able to like rapidly measure this quality is one of the things I'm getting set up to do now. Okay. In the meantime, though, let's just start by getting some like basic, sane, logical, some sort of performance improvement. So if I go to Godot shaders.com, and what was this one? And I shouldn't say sane because I'm going to, I don't know what's going to be easy to do and what's going to be hard and what is going to be and what's going to be, you know, worth the effort. So I've got a bunch of different things I want to try here. Blending modes. A common and simple way to add, for example, two textures together is with the mix. So the reason I looked this up is I know I actually get two images, right? In fact, let's add that in right now. And, you know, I might as well kill this app, partly so I can conserve battery on the headset so I don't lose battery too quickly. If I uninstall, that kills the headset. Cool. And then I'm just gonna like literally kill it. There we go. And now the headset can go to sleep and take a snoozer for a few minutes. Maybe recharges batteries a little bit. What was I saying? Right, so now what I can do, one thing I know I can do immediately. So this is going to pass one image for OCR. That's fine. We always want to just pass one image. But this is going to get this from, I think, was it GameState? No, GameState's just the facilitator that I set up. Is it main? So we have our functions, have camera permissions, that's fine. Call delayed is a utility script I created on ready. Set up debugging. So this is what adds the debug panel to the scene, but only on debug, which is cool. So now, because I don't have that debug panel as part of the main scene anymore, if I do a production build, we just won't add it. But if I'm doing a dev build for myself, I can add in those debug windows and test and work with things myself. So that's fine. That hits that up, and then not initializing pass-through feed. So we turn monitoring on, get our feeds, Set all that up, feed ID, and then we stop and start camera. Update book from camera. So this is, again, this is just another debug mode thing. Where did I put this? I don't think it was game state. So this just adds page to text. Debug logger. Process image, right? This is a facilitator script. So is it OCR manager? Well, let's start with this, because this is what I'm doing to trigger things right now. So when we toggle the button, when we hit that button, we get our image. Okay, yeah, maybe I won't code it just yet, but we have our camera texture here. I could create 2 of these. And then when we initialize the camera, I could initialize 2 of them, because feed 0 is the avatar. Feed 1 is the left camera, and feed 2 is the right camera. So I could grab a still image from both. And this is what I'm going to think about doing. And then maybe try to merge those 2 images together to make a better image. Sounds like a crazy, stupid idea. It's probably not going to work, but let's give it a shot. Okay, well, so that's one path. What are my other options? Okay, so I do know that Godot image. So if I go to image, this is 4.4. Yeah, so this also has some functions here, right? So convert, copy from, create. Fill rect. Get width is visible. Some loading. Rotate 90, rotate 180. Is it just normal rotate? Save Xer, save, what is Xer? Set data, set pixel, shrink X2. If grayscale true, the image only has 1 channel. So I may want to do that. What's an EXR file? Multi-channel raster file format. Releases an open standard. Computer graphics. Since it can store arbitrary channels in one file, it takes away the need to store this information in separate files. Okay, what about quality versus JPEG? What's more efficient? I'm asking because 2 same textures have different size. EXR is 15 megs, JPEG is 3. Avoid JPEG for texture because it's texture for Avoid JPEG for textures because it's a compressed format. Your result will be inconsistent and lower quality. If you need to use a compressed format, try PNG with a little compression, in my opinion, better quality than JPEG. If you want to store 8-bit, 16-bit, or 32, should you lossly or lossless? You cannot compare JPEG for EXR because JPEG can only store 8-bit per channel. Okay, well, I'm sold. So where do I sign up? Debug HUD. On detect. So here's what I'm going to do. Image.save EXR. Can't Command C because Command C is on a different type of computer. Camera image dot .exr. Fine. This is annoying me, so what I'm going to do is and then now we've got there we go. A little bit cleaner. Great, so I'll save an EXR file and see what the quality on that is. Not that it's a proper measure of things, but what are we talking about file size wise? So if I do view details, yeah, the PNG is a lot bigger. And the PNG is what we OCR'd, right? Let's go to OCR Manager, save PNG to buffer. So we're OCRing the PNG file, but we are also compressing it. I do know that it gets compressed and on the other side comes out not as big. So one thing I can do is try to refactor that, but we'll get there. I don't want to mess with C++ code just yet. Okay, so that's cool to know. EXR. Generally, EXR is a good format if you need to keep the file size really small on disk. Oh yeah, and by the way, grayscale. I always forget, is it gray or gray? Grayscale with a A. All right, so now I've got more images to save. We've got our JPEG, PNG, already had those. Lossy is false. Might as well, you know? Well, image.save. Oh, then, what is DDS? I don't see DDS. What if I go latest? Because I'm not on 4.4. I'm actually on like the newest. I mean, I'm not on 4. I'm on Dev 4, not Dev 5. I know Dev 5 is out, but I don't want to accidentally upgrade and accidentally break everything. Is DDS a new thing? Load SVG. Okay. Yeah, DDS is a new thing. Ooh, fancy. What is DDS? Saves the image as a DDS, direct draw surface file to path. DDS is a container format that can store textures in various compression formats, such as this function will return if Godot was compiled without the DDS module. May be disabled in certain builds, which means will return an error. Okay, DDS versus EXR. Image quality, DDS versus EXR. Comparison of graphics file formats. Okay, is DDS here? DDS, direct draw. Microsoft, boo. Application doesn't say. And then there's EXR. Owned by Industrial Light and Magic. Okay, well, that's... I trust them. Used for film effects or 3D rendering and HDR. Patent-free is true. Well, that doesn't really tell me much. NIH.gov. Nobody's going to give me a straight answer, are they? Let's do DDS. Why not? And save DDS just gives a path. EXR just lets us do grayscale. Image.save. So we've done all those, and we might as well do WebP. Why the heck not? And WebP lossy is false. Okay, so let's do false 1.00. Yeah, we can do 1.0 inclusive, right? Lossless WebP offers more efficient compression than PNG. PNG can save larger, but I'm not going to be able to do that. DDS, direct draw surface file, container format, EXR. If grayscale true, the image has only one channel, rather than one red channel. All right, I wouldn't be surprised if all these things fail for me. All right, but this, I thought there was something else here that I cared about. So it wasn't just the saving of files. There was something else in the image library here. Well, okay, let's just go look at the methods, right? Adjust the image brightness, contrast, and saturation. Okay, that could be good. Blend rect. Alpha blend source rect from source image to this image. Clipped according to both image bounds. The image source must have the same format. Okay, I think this might be it. Like, this is like that blend thing, which is some of this. I'm gonna have to look into that. But in theory, what it means is I could take like the left image and the right image and maybe somehow kind of merge them together and make a better image. That's at least my dream. Something tells me it won't work, but, or at least not work without some super sophisticated research. Or I'm sure there's a library that does it, and I don't really want to have to install something, but who knows? Maybe I need OpenCV. Let's Let's drag this over here. Allows you to set a custom blending mode for your canvas item. Yeah, like what is this person showing? Do they show an image? I would love to see an example. All right, I'll leave that there. What else did I research on this topic? Blend images Python was another thing I looked up. Pill has a blend function. Yeah. I may look into that just as like a prototype. Okay, and then there's this research paper, which I don't know how I'm going to easily share it to myself, but fast and accurate scene text understanding with image binarization and off-the-shelf OCR. Let me just search for it. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Fast and accurate scene text understanding. Site is springer.com. Here we are. Wow, modern off-the-shelf OCR engines. Correct. Okay, got it. Sweet. Okay, so while modern off-the-shelf OCR engines show particularly high accuracy on scanned text, text detection, and recognition in natural images, still remain, on scanned text, comma, text detection and recognition in natural images still remains a challenging problem. OCR engines can still perform well on this harder task as long as appropriate image binarization is applied to input photographs. Okay, which is basically what I'm trying to do. With the grayscale, for example. So if let's run this again. Take a sip of water. Oh, let me get my utility up. I need to get the permissions. Yeah. Still deploying. Oh, but darn, I am going to need to bring up meta, because that's the thing, is like the main way this works is I have to be casting for me to be able to see. Yeah, grant permissions, and then it's coming up, and come on, a bit slow on the load. Here we are. Whoa. Oh, that's annoying. Because of the pass-through. Hold on. Let's quit it. And if I launch it again, put it over there quick enough. Now it works. And I've lost my zoom in, but that's fine. I can Here, let's go back a little bit. Fine. It's getting some of the background, but that's okay. And then, come on. There we go. A little bit annoying. And now that's going to OCR, getting the Haka results. And I'm sure it's going to crash because DDS isn't available or WebP isn't available or something. But let's assume it's going to work, and let's get ready to pull the files. Come on, come on, come on. Should only take about 30 seconds. Also, I wonder how much of that time is spent saving these images, actually, to be fair, because... Oh, it might already be done for this stuff. Right, because I call this first and then... Looks like it did better this time. Yeah, it saves all the images and then it calls up the stack. By the way, what was the speed on that? Just out of curiosity. About a whole minute. Okay, so it took a minute that time. Let's get the files off. And let's just kill, honestly, let's kill it, because I shouldn't need this up. There we are. And then let's just kill that too, just so we can go to sleep properly. Storage. Why is storage on there? Oh, did this mess up again? I think I may have mistyped something. That's annoying. What is it, 1122? It did this, didn't it? Interesting. Oh, because this folder path. Now that should have been fine because this only affects this. So then why did the Haka results? Oh, because I'm changing current folder. Ooh, okay, never mind. Let's just change this to folder. That's why. That's why, because current folder is oh, darn. Yeah, root folder is already there. Hold on. Git diff. Yeah, current folder is just folder names slash. So current folder equals, yeah, I should not do it this way, but it's fine. Folder name plus slash. It needs that because current like this is, we get the timestamp, and otherwise like we don't really know where to write the Haka file to later, so we got to keep track of it somewhere. And that's why I had this way. Fine, we could do var folder is a string. Fine, fine, fine. Whatever. At least this gets to stay nice and clean. That's how I want it. And it's not a big deal. It's just the Hawker, whatever. I'm not even looking at that right now. So let's go back up. What matters is the images. And that seems to have been a problem. I guess it failed. So we got WebP. Oh, well, that looks better. Does that look better? Or again, we may have gotten lucky. Since the camera was still, we may have gotten... No, yeah, they both look fairly similar. Actually, let's look down here. Down here in the lower right-hand corner and on the far right here, we've got some of this tearing. Do we have that here on the WebP? We do. So if we go to detail view, wow, the WebP size is a lot smaller. Oh, we do have the DDS. Grayscale. Why did I say grayscale? It's not what I wanted. That's just the image. We can't do grayscale for those. So did we end up with an EXR? We didn't. EXR failed to write. That's disappointing. Okay. Can I open with... No, I don't trust Microsoft to find for me. Can I open something? Let's go with Paint. Why not Paint? You'll need a new app to... Fine. Photos. Okay, so that's photos. Fine. Photos. How does this work? Help protect. No, I don't want that. Leave me alone. Or is that this? Yeah, okay, fine. How? Can I just open? Open with. Fine. There we go. Let's try Paint. Paint can't read it. Okay. Fine, whatever. I probably don't want DDS anyway. So EXR failed. EXR might be the one that I am kind of more interested in than the others. Anyway, so what is this saying? Here we demonstrate that it can perform well on this harder task. Binarization algorithm for scene text and systematically evaluate its performance along with 12 existing, well, most existing binarization techniques that are designed specifically either for text detection or for recognition of localized text. Our method shows very similar results for both large and localized text regions. Therefore, it can be applied to large images directly with no need for rebinarization of localized text regions. Real-time variant of this method. Fast image binarization method combined with off-the-shelf OCR engine achieves state-of-the-art performance. Nuance, Tesseract OCR. By the way, why is this? Here we are. Okay. Binarization. And a bunch of references. It's from 2015. Okay, so it's an older report, but it checks out. So Godot image binarization. Is that the word? What is this? SBB document image binarization. Right. So it basically, yeah, this is what I thought it was going to say. So it takes a color image and just basically forces it to black and white, which I think Tesseract does under the hood anyway. Okay. Image binarization in a nutshell. Yeah. Adaptive threshold. Yeah, so this is a hard problem. I kind of like visualize this problem in my head of like how I would go about building this. But obviously people have spent years researching this. And it looks like that adaptive version looks like it might be the best. There's no best thresholding technique. Okay, so i.e. experiment with different ones and figure out which one works. Tesseract image binarization. One of the first steps in efficient OCR with Tesseract is a set of well-known pre-processing routines that aim to adjust the input image, but are not limited to basic image manipulation, scaling, cropping, de-skewing. But does it de-skew under the hood? I thought it didn't do that. Grayscale conversion and binarization. While some practices may not be suitable for the specific case, here's a funny warning found inside an ice cream. That is funny. So Tesseract. Although I definitely prefer OpenCV for its advanced features and its low-level approach to images, I entirely used Pill here. Just because it provides the format that Tesseract is expecting. Sure, fine. So he runs stripping the output string is a good practice for leading. So Tesseract image to string, image, strip, nothing, so it fails. Can help clean up the picture from unnecessary and gain a noticeable improvement, e.g. it looks like just cropping the image in the right spots could assist Tesseract in focusing on the area where the actual text is contained. But how do we know the exact coordinates? We could define a routine that draws a rectangle on the image and invoke it several So this is the one thought I had was, could you use binarization and then identify if you use binarization on this, detect that there's a white square here, ignoring the contents of it, obviously, and then crop to that size and then pass it to OCR. And that might improve both quality and speed at the same time. Takes a parameter box, which is a tuple representing the verticals of the rectangle in terms of left, right. Image.crop takes a parameter box. Yeah, and then I wonder if OCR could do that for us. Could Tesseract... I don't think I saw it. Well, maybe it does. Tesseract, I think, may have a mode where it'll just quickly give you back the bounding box only and not try to OCR. To draw a rectangle in the image, invoke several times. This looks like the perfect case to exploit some cool features provided by IPyWidgets. IPython. First, let's check the size of the image. Now let's define the drawing routine. Okay, cute. So having a UI that does it for you. So you're doing it manually. So you crop it, still nothing. So you binarize the image and it still fails. The threshold value. Image conversion to grayscale. Each pixel is assigned a single value representing the luminosity. Conversion of pixel luminosity to white if the current value is higher than a threshold 0, for black otherwise. I feel like there's a smarter version of this, and maybe this goes into that other page I was reading, where like within a given tiny region of the image, you do really just want like the blackest bits to go to black. And then if there's like a darker pixel next to a grayish pixel, you kind of want that grayish pixel to like more aggressively drop out and get sent to white. Whereas elsewhere on the page, you may have a lighter gray pixel, but it's the darkest one in the area. That one probably should go to black, right? And maybe that is one of those techniques where it kind of like, it's like localized determining what goes to black versus what goes to white. This is, with OpenCV, this is done in a one-liner. But let's suppose we're really committed to using Pill. Fine. I mean, it's cool that he's got this. And now it works. So yeah, binarization really affects things. By performing the same binarization on the original uncropped image. It still works, right? Whether there are right premises. For example, color nuance. Further improvements. And this is the notebook. That's cool that he provides the notebook. 2021. Pre-processing images for Tesseract. Don't you want to be the opposite? I thought you don't want. You need to get the text to be black and the rest of the image white, not the reverse. Grayscale is okay as long as the background is mostly full white and the text mostly full black. But not necessarily. You have to experiment. One of the issues you're seeing is that some parts of the image's text is really thin and gaps in the letters show up after thresholding, while other parts are really thick. Tesseract won't like that. It happens because the input image is not evenly lit, so a single threshold doesn't work everywhere. The solution is to do local adaptive thresholding, where a different threshold is calculated for each neighborhood of the image. Okay, so it's effectively what I theorized a few minutes ago. Not surprised at all that that's what somebody did. There are many ways of doing that, but check out, for example, so maybe it's time I do OpenCV. Okay, license plate. OCR results are pretty bad. Two things will fix this completely. Remove everything which is not text from the image. You need to use some CV to find the plate area, for example, by color. Then mask out all of the background. You want the input to Tesseract to be black and white, where text is black and everything else is white. Remove skew. Tesseract is actually supposed to work okay with skew. But on the other hand, it doesn't always work, especially if you have a single line as opposed to a few paragraphs. So removing skew manually first is always good if you need to do it reliably. You will probably know the exact shape of the boundary trapezoid of the plate from step one, so this should not be too hard. In the process of removing skew, you can also remove perspective. Some further points. Don't try to code this at first, i.e. from the directly no perspective picture of the plate. Edit in Photoshop and run it through Tesseract on the command line. Keep editing in different ways until this works. For example, yeah, and that's what my plan was to do today, was to do this manually. Real quick though, so before I go down that rabbit hole, I do want to quickly look and see what it takes to put OpenCV. Like, can I even use OpenCV? Let me look at my other notes to see is there anything that I wanted to bring in. Yeah, here we go. Here was another one. Expertbeacon.com. And we are looking for image pre-processing to improve the accuracy of Tesseract. Here we go. 2024. Okay, this is good. This is newer. I want something that's a bit on the newer side. So this is from last summer. And let me take a quick moment. Let me check on things. Take a quick break and a sip of water. All right, let's take another dive in. So, in my experience, are far more often traceable to the input images rather than the recognition algorithm themselves. From high quality image scans. But feed them in grainy, skewed photo under variable lighting and you'll struggle to break 60-70% accuracy. This image you requested does not, okay, so lost images. Notice how the second, I wish I could notice, pops out of the textual code. Ready for OCR image to be seen. Resizing for optimal resolution. Tesseract relies on clear character outlines and spacing to parse text. It performs best when font heights range from 20 to 40 pixels. You can rescale input images to meet this target height with OpenCV's resize. Okay. Let me see here. Godot OpenCV. Has anyone done OpenCV with Godot? Game for Godot demonstrating OpenCV calls through GD Native. I'm interested. 3 years ago. Bouncy. Okay. An example using OpenCV version 4 Plus in your Godot game through GD Native API. It works with Godot 3.1. The example allows you to control a ball. Yeah, sure. OpenCV installed and discoverable, then compile the native code in the native directory. This will produce a library Bouncy, which you have to copy to the native folder if needed. Fix the path. So it's saying the native directory. Interesting. I mean, this is the old way, I think. Singleton. Camera.cpp. So, OpenCV, remind me. Computer vision. Let's go to documentation. Ooh. Sphinx. 2.4. .5.0 alpha. Introduction. Open source library that includes includes several hundreds of computer vision algorithms. OpenCV 2.x API, which is essentially a C++ API, as opposed to the C-based OpenCV 1.x API. Great. So I actually can... I mean, I've already got C++ code, and I already have my OCR GD extension. So in theory, I just have to figure out how to build and compile this in with it as well, and then call it. Okay, but before I do that, let me run it outside of Godot and see what happens if I take like one of these raw images. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take, where am I? Book's blocking me again. I'll start here. I'll probably do, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'll figure out which image to go with. I think PNG was the one I got working right now. But basically, I'll take this image, assume this is all I get, and then I'm not going to merge two images from the camera. So let's assume we just work without one image for now to keep things simple. And since I have this now locally, I'll run this through OpenCV. I'll try to do all the things and then compare the result, right? Like just run through the results and do it all manually. If I get it working really well, then what I can do is then convert that to C++ code and then bring it into my project and see if that, you know, works really well. I mean, I guess the one question is like, if I can read it in theory, Tesseract should be able to. On the left, it's gonna be pretty tough, right? The goal is to become a big fish in a small something. The best sub-segmentation is based on special, yeah, so the left is gonna be harder. But that's okay. I'll go with this for now. Here, let me even just like clean up the book here so I can get this out of my way and I can work on my desk a little bit better. Now that I've kind of sort of damaged this book a little bit. Oh, and what page was that? Well, I do have it here, right? 126. So I can easily jump back to that later if I need to. That up there, and then so that's all well and good. Let's see here. Modules, extra modules. Performance best when font is, we can rescale the image. Smoothing, noise, and blur. Binarization for 1-bit simplicity. Adaptive thresholding works well across lighting variations. D-skew. Yeah, so definitely want to deskew. Benchmarking accuracy gains. To quantify the OCR accuracy gains from pre-processing, I evaluated results on sample images from 2 public data sets. Ooh. Post OCR parsing. Okay. And benchmarks on 50 validation images. Pipeline stage, raw. So character error rate was 8%, word error rate was 19%. Blur and thresholding dropped it a little bit. Well, I mean, like the word error rate. Character rate dropped by a lot. Deskewing dropped it in half again. So actually, every time character error rate dropped by a half. Word error rate was 6%, which is still possibly high, but that's good. Here are some tips I've learned. Upload images to cloud storage, fine. Containerization, nope. Version pinning. None of this is relevant to what I'm talking about. Yeah, sure, if you want to productionize things, like this all matters. Failover. Yeah, I'm talking... I care about the quality, not about your enterprise data pipeline setup. Further optimizing source images. Here are some best practices for capturing bright shadowless lighting, plain backgrounds, match orientation, okay. All right. But I probably would want to try to crop first. What are we looking at time-wise? I think I need a break. Yeah, I've just had about 2 hours. Haven't really accomplished anything but done a bunch of research today. This is fine. I'll put that down there. I may need that little book holder later. Do I want to stop here? Because I feel like for me to do this justice, I'm going to have to like sit down and... I wanted to get to the fun part with this stream, and I guess I really did. My hope was to... Well, let me take a few minutes and at least run Tesseract locally again. Which, how did I do that? I think I created notes for myself because I knew I would forget since it's been forever. Here we are. Whoa, not what I wanted. Okay. Where's my README? Command prompt for Tesseract CLI, right? Because I didn't have it running anywhere else. So was it Tesseract -- help? Hey, there we go. And then, right, and then we can pass it that way. dvd ls cd dev. 6, 4, no, 11. Right, that's what we want, that folder. So let's do Tesseract camera image.jpg -L English -PSM1. So there's its result. Goal, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I do think I had... didn't I have... What do we got here for settings? We'll let you see probability choices per character. Okay, I actually, hold on, I need to step away for a second. All right, just dealing with unhappy dog. Got to go for their walk soon. Oh, right. So it should be able to do... -C Tess edit right images equals 1. So if I do that, there's our pre-processed TIFF. Gotcha. So that is what it... So it already does some pre-processing. But as we can see, it's kind of trash. So, and we lose the entire bottom here. So my goal now is with OpenCV to do better than this. Okay. Tesseract print parameters will tell you the setting options for converting an image to black and white before preprocessing. See above image output when tweaking. Thresholding. Okay. Control parameters. Language model penalty non-dict words. Yep. Generate a Hawker file using the CLI. Edit and add this right before. Oh, right, yeah. So doing these steps is how I was able to generate. Where is it? This. So you get a Hawker output. Where is it? Yeah. Pass Hawker, it'll give you a Hawker XML output. But then you redirect that to a file, you go edit the file and you just drop in this script and you'll get something like this, which is cool. Yeah, and this is pretty bad. Okay. So anyway, I gotta improve that with OpenCV. And I need a break. So I think I'll probably just stop here, unfortunately, because otherwise I'm gonna get diminishing returns out of my performance right now. So best thing is take a break, grab some lunch, and then I don't think I'll stream, but this afternoon I'll probably dive into the meat of this and start getting at least the beginnings of OpenCV working, and then hopefully I may try to stream on Friday. I don't since I couldn't stream on Monday. I had some family stuff to deal with. So I might stream on Friday morning, and if I do, it'll be this OCR stuff. So it's gonna be OpenCV, running OpenCV on, you know, basically trying to using OpenCV to probably detect the box here and then auto crop to the bounding box of the text is one thing I'm going to try to do, because that would be nice to just be able to automatically cut out anything that's not a book. That also, the other reason, and I've actually thought about this, I may make the OpenCV a separate GD extension, maybe, or at least part of it anyway, because what I might want to be able to do is detect, like grab an image, detect where in that image is the book that the user is holding, and then use that to like create the book in the right place in VR. I mean, for now, I'll probably just anchor it to their hands and just do hand detection and then just put the book in their hands. But books are different sizes, and who knows? I may want to do something like that. But also, just knowing the bounding box for the book means that I can immediately crop out anywhere from 20% to 40% of the image, just immediately cropped out, which makes for a smaller image, which means processing should be better just alone from that, and faster. So with OpenCV, I want to do that, and then I want to grayscale it with the adaptive threshold, see if I can do better than this, especially if we pre-crop it. All of a sudden now that adaptive threshold might do better on these things, you know, like fixing the bottom here to actually properly do that. And then also, but also like before I do that, also then like de-skew, de-warp. So if I can de-skew and de-warp and then do the thresholding to convert it to black and white, whatever that's called. What is that called again? Binarization. Yeah, to make it binary, either 0 or 1. So the binarization of the image. Anyway, again, to produce something better than this, that I then feed into Tesseract and then get a better result than this. And if I succeed at doing that just locally, then I'll go and if the performance is pretty good on it too, and I'll test it before and after, right? I'll see, like, then I might even time it to see, like, hey, can I also observe that Tesseract runs faster for one versus the other? And especially if that's true, if I know it's faster and the quality's better, then I'll go through the effort of bringing OpenCV into Godot and bring that into the GD extension that I've created so that I can then run all these things live on the headset. And hopefully then that solves... It'd be nice if it killed two birds with one stone, where the speed of OCR is improved, but then also the quality. So anyway, I may try starting with the bones of that this afternoon and tomorrow, And then on Friday, hopefully, then I'll try to save the fun part for streaming if I stream on Friday morning. But if not, I'll be back on Monday. So thank you for any who've hung out, and thank you all for those who have been dipping into my channel here and there to follow me. And I'll talk to you next time.